Hi friends, you are welcome in Literature Simply. Simple way to learn literature and language. Friends, in this video we are going to discuss about a world-renowned personality in English literature. We are going to discuss about Rabindranath Tagore and his poem This Dog. Before starting or reading this poem This Dog, let's understand how Rabindranath Tagore became the world famous personality. Friends, Rabindranath Tagore is not only well established figure in Indian literature but in the fields of whole arts. Friends, if we look at his profile, we find that he is known as Gurudev, Vishwakavi and Kavi Guru. Means he is the master of poets and he handled so many forms in arts and literature. He handled all these forms very skillfully or masterly. Friends, he was a playwright, an actor, a producer, director, musician, educationist, philosopher, a great religious leader, a spiritual leader, a humanitarian sage, an idealist and whatnot. He was a nationalist, internationalist, and he handled so many forms in literature also. He wrote novels, short stories, again poems. In poems he handled different forms very skillfully, and when we find his all range of works, it is filled with variety, and he is such a versatile personality in Indian literature. Friends, Rabindranath Tagore is very significantly contributed to the field of literature and art, and he is recognized world over. And friends, he has great relations outside the India. He was invited so many times for the lectures, and he delivered lectures on different types of subject matters and different types of aspects. For example, Indian culture, religion, arts, literature, etc. There is a vast range of his lectures outside India. And friends, he again contributed in the field of art also. He contributed to the field of painting, music and other allied arts. Friends, he awarded with Nobel Prize very aptly in 1913 for his collection of poems called Gitanjali. It was actually composed in Bengali, but later it is translated in English by himself, Rabindranath Tagore, and it received the Nobel Prize award in 1913. Friends, again, he is the outstanding composer of lyrics, and he composed more than 1000 lyrics, probably the largest lyrics composed by a single person. So this is a brief profile of Rabindranath Tagore. If you search his profile on internet, you will find so many pages of his profile. His all works are famous, like we have Gitanjali, novel Gora, some plays like Chandalika, Chitra, The Ascetic, etc. Friends, there is one more information which I would like to share with you, that Rabindranath Tagore's song Jana Gana Mana is the national anthem of India, and his another song Amar Sonar Bangla is the national anthem of Bangladesh. So he is such a fine personality, he is such a great personality for both countries, India and Bangladesh. So it strengthens the ties between India and Bangladesh. It is a great bond between these two countries, between these two neighbors. Friends, in this video our discussion point is his poem called This Dog. Actually, if we think about poets and authors, we find that they have a fascination with the animals and natural worlds. For example, we find that there is subject matter regarding many animals. Animals are described and on them many poems were composed. Animals like cat, dog, tiger and other animals. And we have famous poems like Thomas Gray's poem. Then we have William Blake's poem called The Tiger. So these are some of the poems which are composed on the animals. And in this poem, This Dog, Rabindranath Tagore talks about the dog, and he is talking about the relationship between human being and the dog. And he at the end of this poem says that how human being is great animal among all animals, and how this has been recognized by the dog. Friends, this dog is composed in 25 lines. It comprises of 25 lines, and there is no particular stanza form here in this poem. Actually, this is a 14th poem in Tagore's collection of poems called Arogya. And in this poem he talks about the relationship between human being and animals. So friends, let's read this poem and understand the poem. So first I will read a few lines and explain the meaning of these lines. This dog, first I will read the first 4 lines and explain these lines to you. Every morning this dog, very attached to me, quietly keeps sitting near my seat, till touching its head I recognize its company. Friends, in the opening lines of this poem, Rabindranath Tagore describes the routine activity that whenever he goes in the Shantiniketan for the breakfast, there comes a dog. Actually, he is referring this dog, meaning it is not a pet dog but a stray dog, and this stray dog comes to Rabindranath Tagore and he sits near his feet and he just bestows love upon Rabindranath Tagore, and Tagore also touches his head, and after touching the head of that dog, this dog becomes a very joyful. And in the next line she describes the joy of this dog. This recognition gives it so much joy, pure delight ripples through its entire body. Among all dumb creatures, it is the only living being that has seen the whole man. Beyond what is good or bad in him, it has seen. So in the next 7 lines, Rabindranath Tagore describes the relationship between human being and the dog or the particular animal. Friends, when we think about the animal like dog and human being, we find that this relation is age-old relation. And here he says that what this dog might have seen in the human being, because he becomes very loyal to human being, and as human being or the poet or any human being is bestowing his love towards the dog, dog also returns the love in the form of loyalty. Dog is the most loyal animal on the earth, and he gives loyalty in the return of love. And whenever this poet or Rabindranath Tagore sits there, the dog also comes and sits near his feet, and he loves the company of dog, and dog also loves the company of poet, and hence the poet says that I recognize his company. So the company of both is significant because they have created a bond between them, a relationship between them, and their relation is of the friend. And when the dog considers that he is my master, he gives in return the loyalty. So he is the loyal animal, we can say that. Now let's read the further lines and understand what is this bond between poet and the animal or this dog. So next again 4 lines. For his love it can sacrifice its life, it can love him too for the sake of love alone. For it is he who shows the way to the vast world pulsating with life. Now very aptly Rabindranath Tagore describes the dog. Now dog has recognized his master and he is loyal to him, and he is bestowing sheer love to the very poet or to the Tagore, and Tagore also is very satisfied. And we find that generally dogs sacrifice whole life for the person or for the man who loves them or who loves the dog. So this is the relation between dog and the poet, or dog and generally human being. And again Rabindranath Tagore says that this dog pulsating the whole world means giving life to the world. So this is a very significant lines used by Rabindranath Tagore for this dog, though the dog is stray dog and not the pet dog. So friends, again let's read the next lines. Next 5 lines. When I see its deep devotion, the offer of its whole being, I fail to understand by its sheer instinct what truth it has discovered in man. Friends, these lines are significant because here the poet says that I am not able to understand that why this dog is giving me so loyalty, or why the animal dog has seen so greatness in the man, and he is ready to spend the whole life for the man or the person who loves him. So here we find that the poet is in doubt what might have this dog seen in the human being or in the human nature, that he is ready to spend whole life for that person. So there is the sheer instinct or the baser instinct in the words of Tagore that this dog might have seen in human being, and there is great bond he might have acknowledged between human being and himself or the animal dog. Friends, these lines again restates the relationship between human being and animals generally. So let's go to the next 5 lines. These are the last 5 lines of the poem. By its silent, anxious, piteous looks, it cannot communicate what it understands, but it has succeeded in conveying to me, among the whole creation, what is the true status of man. Friends, now in this last 5 lines, Tagore says that though the dog is not able to understand what is there in the mind of human being, or human beings are not able to understand what is there in the mind of that particular animal or dog, but both have a great bond, both have relationship, and here the dog might have recognized or acknowledged the true or the truth in human being and the great quality of human being, and he might have thought that humans are the great animals on this earth, and hence he is ready to share his loyalty towards the human beings. Friends, when we think about this poem in deep, we understand that human beings and animals have a great bond, and this relation is age old. Here we have, for example, this dog, but Rabindranath Tagore is not only talking about the dog, but many animals, pet animals, or the animals around human beings, because these animals also give us or return us their love when we love them, and they also recognize the truth in the human beings, the great qualities in the human beings, and they also understand the great creation of God on this earth, that is human being. So this is all about the poem. So Rabindranath Tagore very generally talks about animal like dog, but he conveys us a great meaning through this poem, a great thing of human beings, because we find that Rabindranath Tagore is a lovable person who loves nature and animals. He is a very serene person. He is a very we can say that a very generous person towards nature and animals, and the same attitude is presented in this poem, and hence this poem becomes significant for us, and it gives us a message that we should love animals, we should respect animals who are around us or who stay around us. So this is all about this poem. Actually this poem is very simple, and the meaning also is very simple, and there is a great deep meaning in this poem. We must understand this meaning. Friends, if you think any difficulty regarding this poem or the poet Rabindranath Tagore, you can ask me through the comments. I am ready to answer your comments. So please like this video, share this video among your friends, and subscribe to Literature Simply, and don't forget to press the bell notification icon for updates.